Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here, because on today's episode, we're going to see what we can make out of a meteorite. First of all, however, the question is, can we make anything at all from a meteorite? And what can we do to a meteorite? Well, Ryan, very kindly, appears not only to have sent me an Iowa state flag, thank you, but also a meteorite. Now, I have never in my life before seen a meteorite. Oh my goodness, this thing, holy moly, whoa. That is a big chunk of iron. This thing looks cool. So I've got a couple pieces of documentation here that Ryan also sent with it. Apparently this is a Campo del Cielo meteorite, and these would have been found in Argentina. Apparently the fall reached Earth 5,500 years ago. Holy moly. And apparently these meteorites are among the oldest things in the universe. 4.6 billion years old. Woo, that's old. Now, not only do I now know that, but I also know that though this is largely composed of iron, obviously, there's a lot of other stuff in these, supposedly. About 7% nickel, 0.43% cobalt, 0.25% of phosphorus, 87 parts per million of gallium, 407 parts per million of germanium, okay, not the plant, and 3.6 parts per million of iridium. So the first thing I need to do in establishing whether, or I should say what, we can do to it, is see if I'm going to be able to put it in the bandsaw, which is going to require that it is not extremely hard. So I've got a file, and we are going to see if the file teeth will cut out. See if the file teeth will cut the meteorite. They will indeed. Looks like it can go in the bandsaw. So naturally, I'm extraordinarily nervous for many reasons. One, you know, this thing is billions of years old, and I'm about to cut into it. Two, I don't know if I really can cut through it. The top surface might be soft, but it might be hard in the middle, and it might snap a blade. This whole machine might explode. Maybe we'll find alien larvae inside. Goodness gracious, who knows? All around, it looks like it could be a sticky situation, especially if there's alien larvae inside. So, let's try and take a slice off of this bad boy. Make sure it's secure, give it a clamp, and here we go. Oakley dogley, this is super duper interesting. We've taken off this tiny little slice, and as you saw, there are cracks in it. It's interesting to see. It's not all together as one might have assumed, and I want to see what it looks like once we etch it. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know all about etching. Firstly, if you're not a regular viewer of my channel, what is going on? Make sure you hit subscribe. But if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you do indeed know what etching is. It is going into the acid and letting the acid eat away the metal. And we can often tell if there are different parts. Such as in the Damascus, we have different alloys. We can spot any differences in the composition of it in the etch. And holy moly, I'm seeing something. This is cool. Whoa. Look at that. That is very, very interesting. This is truly fascinating. Out of the etch, you can see that there are many different colors that are being revealed here, or colors or shades. And that actually indicates that we have different materials within there, different elements, things that are reacting differently to the acid. And it doesn't look like at all an alloyed piece of steel. Rather, this looks like there's different stuff in there, and it's all randomly in there, and it's not all joined together, and it might mean that there is not a lot of structural integrity within the piece. I still want to try working it. So the documentation describes that there are bands of different minerals that'll go through these meteorites, and there are also silicate inclusions too. So this is truly, truly fascinating. But I think it's time to try and see what we can do to it. First things first, we're going to hammer it cold. Well, oh yeah, by the way, I edited that. I actually did dress up like this because whenever you're gonna hit something and you don't know what the composition is, it could easily break at a very high velocity and hurt. So I don't like getting hurt. So here's what I observed when we hit it the first time. It just dented. It was relatively malleable. We hit it the second time. It broke apart. And that's what that break looks like. And a crack has further opened up in 2 more places, as well as a chip falling off. So what have I learned from this? It's not gonna stay together well. None of it is together well as it is. So I'm gonna take a couple more slices and work my way back up the meteorite until we're in a little bit of a chunkier section. We're gonna hack off a slab and go into the forge and see what we can do when it's hot. So it's just fallen straight apart. That's no good. Straight apart. There's got to be something else I can try. Look at that. Let's try another heat. Let's try some light hammering. Let's see what this will do. This is not staying together, and it is not going well. I'm taking as many welding heats as I can, and the cracks are still there. I've tried going this way, I've tried going that way, we've tried light blows, we've tried heavy blows. Oh, gee whiz, this is difficult. Right, so I'm gonna keep hammering away on that piece to see if with more time we can forge weld it, consolidate it, and get it together. I don't know if we can on that particular piece, but I'm gonna take another slice off. I'm gonna keep trying it. We're gonna see if we can try some new things. We're gonna see if we can do a better job.
You can call me stupid. Yes, you can call me sheep. You can say I'm lazy. You can say I'm weak. But when it comes to her, you better keep it sealed. Don't you dare say a single word, or I will strike you where it feels. You think that using her will get to me, and if you're right, then
Holy moly, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do with this. I forged it out, there are cracks everywhere, it's super scaled. What I wanna do is I wanna try and fold it and forge all it back together. This thing here in the saw, it's a nightmare to cut. This cut has been going for an hour. Oh, it's good timing. This cut has been going for an hour. It's through, but it took an hour. Bloody hell. Anyway, holy moly, can you see that? Can you see the little striations in it? These kind of almost like scratch lines that run all the way down and then back across. It's the craziest thing. This is completely shocking. I don't know what that is. You can also see all the cracks on the top half of the piece again. Despite all that, we're gonna put it in the forge anyway, and we're gonna try and work it with the power hammer nice and gently. See if we can consolidate together a larger piece and get it welded so we can start working it. Welded! Amazingly easy, it looks like. That may be wrong, it may not be welded, but it looks like it just got together, stuck together like butter. Right, let's try the big piece. Already broke it, so much for that statement. victory! It's now Alphalooza! Right, so, you know, out of 100, 0 being failure, 100 being success, I'm going to call that a pretty solid 97, right? You know, I really don't feel good about giving up. The idea just does not sit well with me at all. This is a billion-year-old, a multi-billion-year-old piece of steel. Gotta be able to work it. I've got to. I have no idea if I can, but I'm gonna try and keep the temperatures high. I'm gonna try hammering it gently. I'm gonna see if I can take one of the halves of that second chunk of steel and see if we can consolidate it into something. We gotta forge something. This is an absolute nightmare material to work, but it looks like there's a crack in the middle, and I've just about got good material either side of that crack, and I just want to try and forge it. I want to see what we can do to it. I want to see if it will work. I want to see if it'll draw out, and holy moly, it's looking like it is. There's bad material ahead of it. There's bad material behind it, but I was just able to forge that. That's pretty cool. That's very cool, in fact. I'm forging a meteorite! I don't know if it's gonna work, but I am forging a billion-year-old piece of metal, a 5 billion-year-old piece of metal. Holy moly, this is crazy. Oh yes! It is moving just like steel. It's moving just perfectly right here. Not got any issues. I'm drawing out this little piece. It's working. Oh my goodness, this could be a good result after a long day's work. Just praying there are no cracks that appear halfway through making it. Speaking of making it, I don't know what I'm making. I need to think about that. But we're working it. That's the most important part. We're working it, and it can be forged. It's just that it can also crack. But it can be forged. A little piece is coming off here. This is not good. That's bad. That's very bad. Okay, let's see if we can round it. There's a big old crack running the way down it. That's a problem. This doesn't look good. It's just a crack that runs the whole way down the piece. Oh no. This is a tough material to work. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Getting very weak right there in the middle. No. Yeah, it's broken there. I think the scale played some part. There's no more strength right there. Okay, this is still forgeable up here. I do not have any idea how this is possible, but I have been able to still keep forging. How? I don't know. How is this not breaking apart? There are cracks the whole way down it, somehow I've been able to peen out a leaf from the thing. It's unbelievable. It's from space. Most of the thing is cracked, yet I can forge it like normal metal, despite the fact that when you etch it and you look at a cut-off piece, it's filled with cracks. I have no clue what to say. And I have no clue what to do. What I do know is that there's got to be something more special than a leaf that we can forge from this meteorite. It's got to be possible. So make sure you subscribe, because on tomorrow's episode here in the workshop, I'm going to keep working on this meteorite. I'm determined to make something awesome out of it. Can't wait to see you then. Love to hear your comments and thoughts in the comments below. Please do drop us a like. Thank you to Ryan for supplying us with this meteorite, and I will see you tomorrow on the next episode.